All right, good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for stopping by my channel again. Uh, Do me a favor and like and subscribe and share it so I can get more views, and it'll really help me out. Um, Today, I want to talk about when I was going to, when I was going to UEI back in 2000. Um, just a little story about being catfished before there was such a thing as being catfished. This is before, Facebook and Instagram and all that. Uh, so I was going to UEI in 2000 to be a computer technician. My kid's mom had just graduated from there, so I figured, well, I was truck driving at the time, but I figured I might as well go learn something else too, just in case this falls through, I have something else. And they had that program, computer technician, with the uh, um, medical assistant, dental assistants, pharmacy technicians, all that bullshit from back then. Um, so the schooling, it was like I think it was an 8 month program, and but it was like going back to high school. I think this is 2000, so I was like 26 at the time, and it was kind of like going back to high school. I can get into that on another video about UEI, but the story I'm gonna tell is about being catfished, and it has to do with UEI because at that time there was a thing called web TV. And my brother, he's the one who told me about it. He had hit me up one day and he's telling me, "Hey man, I'm meeting all kinds of chicks and you're hanging out with different women and this and that." I said, "Well, how you doing? Where are you meeting them at?" He told me he's meeting them off web TV, and I was like, "Well, what is that? What's web TV?" So he explained it to me, and what it was is it was a little box that you plug to the back of your TV, and then you ran out of the wires from your wall, your landline, your telephone, ran it into that little box also, and they gave you dial up. So pretty much you turn your television into a monitor, and this little box was like a small computer, but all it really did was give you the internet, and it came with a wireless keyboard, so you could sit there in front of your TV on this keyboard and look at stuff on the internet. And the internet was still like really brand new. So he said there was things called chat rooms, and I come from a time when it was the party line. So like there's these chat rooms you go into in your area, so you can look up like Inland Empire, or you can look up your city. Like at the time I was living in Fontana, so I could look up Fontana and like a 10-mile radius, and it would find people, women, whatever you were searching for in that area that were on the internet in these chat rooms, and then you just go in there and you just start talking. It was just the same concept as the party line. So at the time I was living with my kid's mother. We were living in Fontana, and I was fucking around all the time. So he was telling me how easy it was to hook up with girls on there. So I told my kid's mom, I said, "Hey, let's get this web TV for the kids so they can look on the internet and all that other shit." But I was doing it for myself. So we bought one. And when she wasn't home, I would go on there. And yeah, it was like shooting fish in a barrel. You can meet a lot of fucking girls in there. I used to meet a lot of girls in there. So I had met this one. Well, I was talking to this one girl on there. She lived up in Highland, and like I said, at that time I was also going to UEI. So I was communicating with her on the web TV, but she also had I think it was AOL at the time. AOL, they had chat rooms. She was also on there. So one night I was at school at UEI right here in Ontario, and we had finished our work. So everybody that would finish their work would just get on the internet. So I go into the AOL chat room, and that girl was on there. the girl from Highland. So I started talking to her. Now back then, you had to describe yourself. There was no pictures, no other shit. And I don't even think that phones had cameras on them yet in 2000. I think they were just regular flip phones, but I don't think there was cameras on them. And so it was all about describing yourself. So she had described herself to me as thick and big booty, and she was real pretty, long black hair, and all this other shit. And you have to visualize these things. So in my mind, she was fine because that's what she put out there. So, anyways, I'm at in class. I'm going back and forth with her on there, talking to her bullshit with her. And then she's like, "What are you doing right now?" I said, "I'm here at class. I go to UEM. I'm in class right now, but I've already done my work, so I'm just hanging out." And she's like, "Well, why don't you come meet up with me?" And so I was like, it was still early too. Like, we didn't get out of school. I don't think until like shit, maybe 10, 9:45, 10 o'clock. It was probably like about 8. So she's like, I have one of my homegirls right here with me. I said, well, what's your homegirl look like? And she was like, oh, she's thick and describing this girl. So I was like, okay, fuck. Hold on a minute. So I'll get back to you in a minute. So my boy Emilio's right there with me. And I tell him, hey, Emilio, want to leave? Want to get out of here early? He's like, well, what's going on? I said, hey, I got these 2 girls. Oh, before that, though, when she was telling me, like, hey, come hang out with me, come pick me up. I got my homegirl with me. I said, well, what do you guys want to do? She said, whatever you want. So I said, well, you want to go get a Momo and some alcohol? She was like, fuck it, we're down. So that's why I was like, okay, hold on. So I told my boy, me, you want to go, man? These 2 girls are down. They ready. They want to go get a Momo and get some alcohol. We'll go over there and smash on them. He's like, fuck it, let's go. So got back on there, told her, yeah, give me your address, and we're gonna leave right now. So she gives me the address. I get offline out of the chat room, and I go to MapQuest. Back then, I had MapQuest. There wasn't no Google Maps. I get on the MapQuest, I put the address, and I printed out a map to get to her house. So me and him, we go outside. I say, hey, man, because I think he was like maybe like 20, 21 years old, but he had a Corvette Stingray. And I said, well, we can't take your car. You got to leave it here. We got to go pick them up. So at the time, I had like I think it was an 89 Fleetwood Brougham Cadillac. I said, just take my car. Leave your car here. We'll come back later on tonight, pick up your car. So we take off and we're headed out toward Highland. It's gonna take us about 30 minutes to get out there. So, as we're driving, he's like, hey, so what does these girls look like? And I said, well, she said that she's fine, man. She said she's thick. Both of them are thick, black hair, nice looking, all the shit. So he's like, fuck, like he's excited to get out there, because they're already down to fuck around. There was no, we didn't have to bullshit our way into it. It was already there. We could go get some alcohol, go to the room, and that was that. So then we get onto it was at the 215 or whatever it is. Get up right there in Highland, and it's right off the freeway. I remember the street was like right off the freeway, like 2 minutes off the freeway. So we get off the freeway, and we're going up the street. It's a nice street too, a nice tree-lined street. And I'm looking for the address. So I can see that the address is going to be on the right-hand side. So it's up the block a little. So I'm like, the house, I tell them, like, the house up the block, they're going to be up here somewhere. So as we're probably like 7 houses away from the house that she was at. And as we're pulling up, I see these 2 big fucking fat girls. Now they had to be like, man, close to 300 fucking pounds each. 280, big. And they ain't tall. They have 5'5". And there's a bunch of kids running around in the grass. So by the time we get up, it's like 9:30 somewhere around there. fucking kids running around the grass and shit. And he's like, oh, that's the house right there. I think that's the house with them girls. He's like, he literally said, man, I hope that's not the fucking. I hope that's not them. You know, that's not the way she just described herself, bro. I don't think that's them. Yes, they're fucking family member. He's like, nah, man, I think that's them, dude. Like, don't stop. I'm like, no, fuck, I'm gonna stop and see, because what if you're wrong? Like, nah, I'm guaranteed there's two of them out there. What the fuck? Like, no. And they were like my age, you know, they were in their 20s. He's like, don't stop, fuck that. And I said, I'm gonna stop, see what's going on, you know. So we pulled right in front of the house, and I swear it was like fucking Friday, like when that fat chick showed up to see what's his name, whatever. When he says she looked like fucking Freddie Jackson, it was just like that. We pull up, they're right there sitting on the porch, and I roll his window down, and the fucking one, the black hair, the one I knew was the because she had black hair, the other one had like brownish hair. And I'm like, fuck, man, like that's that. I know it's got to be her. Like, fuck. She like walks up to the window. She's like, "What's up?" And I'm like, "Fuck." She's like, "You're Mike, right?" I said, "Yeah." She's like, "Yeah, I'm so and so." You know. Oh, okay. This is my girl, my homegirl right here. So what's going on? I said, "Oh, well, this is my boy Emilio." Oh, and they're like, the other girl's like, "Hey, nice to meet you, Emilio." And I'm like, "Fuck." Like, all right. So they were like, "So what's gonna happen? We need to go get a Momo or what?" And I said, "Yeah, we're gonna go get some alcohol right now too." Like, okay, can you do me a favor? And I was like, well, what's going on? She's like, can you take us to my grandmother's house because we have to drop off our kids? And I was like, fuck, all these kids are their kids. Like, they're like four kids, I think, 4 or 5 kids running around out there, you know? It's like, fuck, man, this bitch has all these fucking kids. So she's like, yeah, can you take us down to my grandma's house right here in San Bernardino so we can drop the kids off over there? She's gonna watch them for us. So, yeah, I said, that's cool. Um, I said, that's cool. We'll take you. Don't worry about it. I said, all right, we're gonna get the ready. We'll get the car seats. Like, fuck, man, it's only these two big ass bitches can barely fit in the back seat of my car. And they expect me to put like 4 or 5 kids in their car seat. I'm like, fuck, man. So I said, hey, check it out. Where's the liquor store at? She's like, you go to the street, that's the stop sign right there, make a left, and there's a liquor store right there. So, all right, what do you guys drink? And we're gonna go to the store real quick and pick it up. We'll come back. You get the kids ready. We'll come right back. They were like, oh, we'll just go with you. It's not gonna take us long. We're ready to go. We just gotta grab our shit and go. I said, no. You ain't gotta rush. Handle your shit. We're gonna go pick up some alcohol. What do you want? Oh, well, we like this. All right, no problem. I'll be right back. Give me like 10 minutes. All right. So we pull away from the curb. I roll up his window, and he's looking at me. Like he's scared. Like he's like, "Fuck, bro. I know we're not gonna go back over there, right?" I'm not fucking that fat chick. And I said, "You think we're gonna?" Oh, I'm not fucking going back over there, dude. Fuck that, dude. I'm that. She lied to me, bro. Like, no way. I'm not going back over there. He's like, "Oh God, like fuck. I thought you really wanted to go back." I said, "Nah, fuck no." And so me and him, and we wasted like about an hour and a half. Went back to school, got his car, and he went home. But yeah, that was the first time out of many fucking times of being catfished by girls off of web TV and AOL, and then taking off on them. Like fuck that. Because they were doing it a lot back then. I think it's even worse now because you know you can see them now, but they do all the fucking filters, and guys are even getting fucking catfish now, like even worse because you see an image of somebody now, and you expect them to look like that. But these girls, they know how to work the angle, turn a certain way, put the fucking all this makeup on, and make themselves look nothing like what they really look like. And it's most of them are doing it. You know, all the fucking filters, the makeup, and the angles. They like became professionals at it, of catfishing people and shit. And so, some of my buddies tell me stories about, you know, how they've been catfished by chicks even now. But like I said, it's even worse because you have an image now. Back then we had no image. It was when you got online, you put ASL, age, sex, location, and then people would hit you up off that. And you put down ASL, and then people start putting the age, sex, location. Now, you see this girl she put down, she live in Rialto. Boom, you start hitting her up like, hey, I'm over in Fontana. You know what I mean? So you get people in your area, but they can only just describe themselves to you, and you had a picture of them in your head. Now you got the pictures, but they're fucking with them. So, but like I said, that's the story about how me and Emilio got catfished by them chicks in San Bernardino, and we ended up just taking off on them. But anyways, this is a little quick story for you. Um, I appreciate you guys watching the videos, and like I said, like and subscribe, and I'm gonna keep putting them out there. And if you got any ideas of something that you want me to talk about, just let me know. Put it in the comments, and then if I know anything about it, then I'll talk about it. So or if there's anything you want to know about me, just let me know, and then I'll discuss it on one of the videos. But then again, thank you for watching, and I'll talk to you guys later.